to the Bournemouth University Paramedic Science programme Open Day. This is a virtual overview of our Bachelor of Science degree programme. So we're going to talk about the selection process, the unique selling points for our course, the degree itself. We'll have a look at placement and our specialist placements, and then have a quick overview of the profession. The Paramedic Science programme is a full-time, 3-year Bachelor of Science honours degree. To facilitate this, we use a dynamic approach to our educational practice, ranging from traditional styles of lecture to interactive technologies. The programme also includes over 2,000 hours in clinical placements and is structured with a 50-50 split between time spent at university and time out on placement. These images are of the new Bournemouth Gateway building on Lansdowne campus. It's due to be completed this summer in 2020. If you get the opportunity, do come to a real open day, come and meet the team and actually have a look around our brand new home. The unique selling point for our course at Bournemouth are the small cohorts of students, enabling a sound professional staff-student relationship. The dedicated academic team facilitating this degree are all registered HCPC paramedics with many years of experience, and some of us are still working in green on bank contracts in clinical practice. We understand the great value of you as students being out in clinical practice and are very proud of the fact that you will still be doing over 2,025 hours of placement with our partner trusts in the ambulance service and within the specialist disciplines. We have an excellent employment rate of graduates, and this is reflected in our good NSS scores of 91% from the previous academic year. These diagrams represent the strategic BU Fusion model. Our purpose in BU is to inspire learning, advance knowledge and enrich society. And we believe that you can do this best by bringing together research, education and practice to create something that is greater than the sum of its parts. Each element informs and improves the other, and we call this fusion. In asking the question about what our Paramedic Science degree programme can do for you when mapped across these principles, in practice we develop our students to integrate into any modern workforce. In education, we evolve autonomous learning skills that will serve you well as you launch into your new career. And in research, we make sure that you can embrace critical thinking through a multifaceted approach. But ultimately, this course will enable you to register as a paramedic. Our current Paramedic Science curriculum has been approved by the Health and Care Professions Council and endorsed by the College of Paramedics. So let's have a look at the degree programme year by year. When you arrive at Bournemouth, the first thing we'll do is kick off with anatomy, physiology and pharmacology for paramedics. This will allow you to explore the principles of anatomy and physiology relating to the different systems in the body. In addition, you'll gain some basic understanding of the pharmacology of the medications that we use within current paramedic practice. The Foundations of Professional Practice and Research unit is your first interprofessional unit, which runs with other healthcare disciplines within the faculty at the university. In this unit, you'll gain a core understanding of the values of the modern-day healthcare professional, whilst exploring the basic concepts around research and evidence-based practice. Patient Assessment Fundamentals is a unit that aims to establish the skills and attributes required for patient assessment in the pre-hospital setting to prepare you for your first placement. Emergency Care Fundamentals is a unit that will introduce the students to the core concepts of acute care within paramedic practice, exploring communication skills, team working, decision making and the treatment options we have when dealing with our sickest patients. The Paramedic Practice Portfolio Unit 1 transcends through the first year, and it is a record of your clinical practice. This is where students will participate in professional practice within the designated ambulance trusts and gain an understanding of the skills, knowledge and professional expectations that underpin and provide the foundation of our work. There will also be elements of critical reflection that will record your experiences whilst in practice. In the second year, there is a Developing Advanced Emergency Care unit. This will build on the knowledge and understanding acquired across your first year and develop critical thinking, reflection and the decision-making skills encountered in paramedic practice. The Research and Professional Practice unit is the second of the interprofessional units and it aims to raise the awareness of a range of evidence and how that guides your practice, and you'll be expected to build on your own learning from the first year. Pathophysiology and Pharmacology for Paramedics is a unit that will develop the understanding of the pathophysiological processes and how they affect the patients that we encounter. We'll also explore the management of these conditions and how the pharmacological interventions play a role in our professional scope of practice. The Management of Long-Term Conditions unit focuses on specific patients that we see in pre-hospital environment. These include the vulnerable and elderly patients with frailty and dementia challenges, patients with mental health conditions, patients that come under the umbrella of chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases, and the patients that are in end-of-life and palliative care pathways. The Paramedic Practice Portfolio Unit 2 is a record of your clinical practice for your second year. Alongside your ambulance shifts, you'll also be working within specialist practice areas, gaining invaluable experience in specialist areas of practice. As you progress into your third and final year, you'll start by working through the Paramedic Care of Minor Illnesses unit. This unit ensures that you are competent in the assessment, examination and treatment of patients with a variety of minor ailments, demonstrating the knowledge you've gained in the first 2 years of the degree programme. In the Paramedic Care for Minor Injuries unit, you'll assess, plan, implement and evaluate a total care and safe discharge of patients presenting with minor injuries, with reference to evidence-based practice. The Team Working for Service Improvement unit is your third and final interprofessional unit, where you'll be working alongside other Year 3 healthcare students from across the faculty. You will be formed into multidisciplinary teams to reflect upon areas of professional practice or service delivery that need development. The Research for Paramedic Practice unit is essentially the dissertation for your degree. The guided structure allows you to develop a research question and review research literature in one specific area of paramedic practice. The Paramedic Practice Portfolio 3 unit is your final practical unit of your programme. You'll be expected to demonstrate evaluation and critical reasoning in the practice placement competencies ready for your professional registration as a paramedic. Clinical skills simulation is an integral part of the Paramedic Science degree programme. Practical skill sessions range from our controlled environments of inside spaces in our various labs, also utilising the surrounding environment of our region, outside in all weathers, embedding theory into your clinical skills to ensure you're equipped to learn whilst out in practice. Plan to complement your time at university are your clinical placements with our placement partners. These are timetabled in blocks of time away from the university itself. Ambulance placements will be with South West Ambulance Service and South Central Ambulance Service, and you will be assigned to one of these trusts prior to starting your degree. Whilst on placement, you will follow a full rotating shift pattern working with paramedic placement educators. This will incorporate days, nights, lates and weekend and bank holiday shifts throughout the year. It is an essential requirement for you to have access to your own transport to enable you to complete this degree. All of our students will be travelling across the region to complete their clinical practice placements over the course of the degree programme. This will include attending ambulance stations across Dorset, with a few in Wiltshire if you're assigned to South West Ambulance Service, and predominantly in Southampton and across the South West region in Hampshire if you're with the South Central Ambulance Service. In addition to the placement time with your ambulance services, you'll also go into specialist placements across our region. These include maternity units to experience obstetrics care, mental health placements in a variety of locations and settings, operating theatres and the recovery wards consolidating your advanced airway techniques on real patients under the direction of anaesthetists, various paediatric wards to care for our youngest patients, and minor injury units across the region working with specialist practitioners, many of whom are paramedics themselves. There are many roles for paramedics in the NHS ambulance services. The most obvious one, of course, is working on an emergency ambulance, as many of you will end up doing. A few of you motorcyclists out there may be looking for a motorcycle response unit, but they are very hard to get into and also are becoming rarer and rarer as the model of response changes. Many services employ solo response vehicles of many shapes and sizes, and of course you'll be aware of the HEMS charities that run helicopters across the country. Every single ambulance service has a hazardous area response team, and of course their vehicles are varied, wide and exotic at times. And you'll see with some of the bigger services in the cities across the UK, we have a cycle response unit. Here is Tom Lynch, who got an OBE for setting up the first cycle response unit in the world at London Ambulance Service. There are more opportunities for paramedics that exist across other organisations, including the Ministry of Defence. In all three services, there are paramedics in regular and reservist roles. In the offshore industries, you'll find paramedics on platforms and in merchant vessels. Forensic paramedics are employed in police custody suites, HM prisons, and in repatriation services for government and private businesses. You'll find paramedics standing shoulder to shoulder with colleagues in our hospital, emergency departments and other acute hospital wards. And as mentioned before, paramedics are now commonplace in primary care roles, in GP surgeries and in minor injuries units. And then of course the film industry and other private companies covering a whole spectrum of sporting and festival events all employ paramedics to complement their medical teams. This is the latest career framework from the College of Paramedics, who are the professional body of paramedics in the UK. The organisation is leading the development of the profession across a wide range of healthcare settings. This model demonstrates the ever-evolving, widening scope and ambitions of paramedic practice today. From this professional standpoint, you can work overseas, as many of my old colleagues have done so. With the foundation of a BSc degree in your paramedic career, this can open up all sorts of multidisciplinary professional opportunities across the globe. This is the end of our virtual open day. We hope you have enjoyed the snapshot of our programme and the profession. If you have any questions about the programme, please look at the resources online and contact our Future Students Inquiry team using the email here, and also through our BU website. Thank you.